Welcome back to Fast Money. We've got a Bitcoin alert. Coinbase introducing a new listing policy that could bring in a whole influx of new coins and assets to the platform. So instead of the 5 coins currently offered right now, Coinbase users could soon be able to buy and sell hundreds or even thousands. For more on how this could shake up the global crypto market, let's bring in Dan Romero, the vice president of Coinbase. Dan, great to see you again. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
What exactly has prompted this, and what will we see differently on the platform?
So when we talk to customers, their number one request is add more assets to the platform. And if you look at where we are today, we have 5 assets on the platform, and there are thousands of cryptocurrencies we don't support. So what we're launching today, and I'm really delighted to talk about, is listing.coinbase.com, and a new process where we will enable Coinbase to list as many assets that are compliant with local law.
So let's take the case specifically within the United States. I mean, we've spoken to you guys many, many times. We've spoken to Asif about why there are so few coins listed on the platform right now. And a big part of the reason is because of the regulatory sort of uncertainty surrounding whether or not a particular coin is a security or a commodity. Has there been any more developments? I mean, as far as I know, there hasn't been too many developments in terms of determining which coins out there fall into that category. So will we actually see things change on the U.S. platform?
I think you'll see changes globally. We're a global company with global customers, and I think we are going to take a region-by-region approach with every asset, with ultimately trying to allow customers, wherever they are, to have access to the maximum number of assets possible.
Okay,
so I think about in the U.S., we are very much engaged with regulators and are going to make sure any asset we list in the U.S. is compliant with local law.
Okay, so does that mean, I guess I'm trying to ask for the Coinbase user in the United States, and I'm sure that many people in our audience fall into that category where they are Coinbase users within the United States. Are you able, under the current regulatory framework that exists, or maybe doesn't exist right now, to list more assets?
We feel confident in our ability to list more assets in the U.S., but it's going to be a case-by-case basis.
Where do you think you'll see the most additional listings happen around the world? And that really speaks to the regulatory framework that exists in different countries and how it differs from what it is here in the U.S.
Yeah, so I think we're going to list assets globally, and that's first and foremost, any asset we list, we want to have available to every customer. And I think you'll see certain assets listed in Europe, other assets rest of world, but ultimately every asset we list on the platform, we also want to make available for customers in the U.S., assuming it's compliant with local law.
Hey, Dan, it's BK. So I'm curious, you guys have seen a lot of competition globally from Binance, from some of the Korean exchanges, a lot of the Japanese exchanges. How much of this shift from a U.S.-centric view to a global view is driven by that competition?
I think it's critical. I think ultimately crypto is a global phenomenon. You have software developers and entrepreneurs around the world building products on top of crypto. And it's unlocking a bunch of use cases, especially in emerging markets. So I think we need to shift as a company to a more global perspective. And I think there are some really high quality global exchanges that I think you're going to see in the coming months as we add more assets, we are going to be more competitive with.
From the business side of things, Dan, is there also a desire to increase volumes? I mean, I would imagine with the turn in, let's just use as an example, Bitcoin prices from 20K to 6K plus, that volumes have gone down. Is there a pressure within the business or a desire within the business to just increase volumes overall, and therefore you do that by increasing the number of assets you list?
I think ultimately it's responding to what customers want. So adding more assets is directly something customers are telling us. And so ultimately, by adding more assets, we're going to increase trust and make the platform easy to use for our customers. And if you do that, I think ultimately volumes will take care of themselves.
Okay. Dan, we're going to leave it there. Thanks a lot for joining us and making this announcement on Fast Money. We appreciate it. Dan Romero from Coinbase. What do you think, Beeks?
Well, I think it's a big move for Coinbase. I mean, I think it highlights the fact that we're dealing with a global asset that is subject to local laws. And that's really challenging, specifically if you're a U.S. company, competing against companies like Binance, which is now based in Malta, basically came out of nowhere to become one of the largest exchanges out there. So I think that's a great move by Coinbase in terms of impact on price of Bitcoin. Probably not much, may have an impact on other coins.